Good morning around the Diamond family. Happy 4th of July weekend. Baseball Bill and I are back for another rousing episode of Around the Diamond. It is a beautiful Saturday morning. I am coming to you from the Wilmington, Delaware area where I am supporting the Wilmington Blue Rocks, the AAA affiliate or one of the affiliates for the Washington Nationals. Bill, I believe, is coming from us somewhere in the central region. But Bill, tell
Yeah.
us about that in a second. As always, Baseball Bill, how are you doing on this fine Saturday morning?
Happy 4th of July weekend from the great state of Texas and from the live state or from the live city of Houston. So we've been here for the watch party. It was a phenomenal watch party last night, and now it's just on back home. Got to get this done so we can get home.
Got to get to some teams that you actually care about watching.
Rough crowd, rough crowd,
Rough
rough crowd.
crowd.
Everybody's been phenomenal down here, though. They've been great. They're so kind. Southern hospitality is real. The Astro 4 have been fantastic to us. So took a tour of the stadium.
Well,
It was great.
as long as you're taking care of you and they're not giving you a hard time, that's all that matters. So
That's true.
we'll keep it civil. We'll keep it civil. But let's not waste any time because we've missed a week. We got to catch up to these people on a lot of things that have happened. Bill, take me through the American League.
Okay, so the American League is the Rays are still ahead of their division. Orioles are still hanging there. I love what the Orioles are doing. Yankees are starting to make their move. Blue Jays, they're gonna have to kick it up into higher gear here pretty quick, and the Red Sox are likewise. In the Central, yes, the leader of the Central is a game under 500. You've got to love that. Nobody's really a huge threat in here. Whoever gets to the dance will probably get taken out soon, but I say that and you watch. The Twins will be 5 games under 500, win that division, win the World Series. Watch after I say that. I appreciate the Royals are playing so bad that they're just the Royal. They're not the Royals anymore. Um, I mean, if you can tell they're 23 and
They don't
59.
deserve the yes. They don't deserve
And
it. They just
they
don't
don't
deserve the
deserve it.
yes.
And the A's, how about those A's? The first ones to get to 60, they have 62 losses. That means in order to have a 100-game season, they need to win the rest of their games, which that's probably not going to happen. And we're going to talk about what happened to them this week. Rangers are right there. Astros and Angels are still nipping at their toes. So good division, good league.
Hey, this American League is one that's exciting to be intrigued about, especially if you're an AL East fan. I think the AL East and the AL West are the divisions you're watching right now if you're looking at the American League. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in those two as we move forward.
Yep.
But when we look at this National League, there's a lot of things that I find intriguing about this. First off, Braves are killing it. First to 50 in the National League with wins, holding strong on the NL East. Marlins trying to make some moves, and the Phillies are still holding the middle of the ground there, I think. But the Mets and the Nationals are kind of on that downward spiral. Let's talk about real quick the Reds in this last 3 weeks have kicked it into another dimension, blowing the Pirates and the Brewers away, putting themselves in the top of the NL Central with a half a game lead. It is great to see the Reds coming up. You know, Reds for a long time have been trying to find a way to make that move, and I think they finally found it with Dela Cruz. Um, and then, looking at the Cubs and the Cardinals, still unfortunately down there on the bottom. But, the Cubs can make a move. I'd be very shocked to see what the Cardinals do. And then as you move over to the West, Diamondbacks are there, but don't hold your breath for too much longer. The Dodgers and the Giants are right on their tails. Dodgers and the Giants are split by half a game. And then the Padres right now, 11 games back. It is just shocking to see. Bill, what are you seeing in this NL?
So the Padres are shocked for sure because they have murders row over there. But what's interesting about the Central Division, let's take the Central Division for a second. What's interesting about the Central Division is not only are the Reds playing well, but if you look at the Cubs, the Pirates, and the Brewers, they all have a shot. Even the Cubs. The Cubs are what, 5 games out, right?
Hmm.
And it will just take a little bit of it will take them winning 3 or 4 back-to-back series, right? And
Yeah.
the Reds and Brewer, I mean, that one's up for grabs. The only team that I think may be stretching it a bit is the Cardinals. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And how about the mighty Mets?
Oh, those mighty Mets, huh? 3-run homer last night, Patrick Bailey.
Yep.
Let's take a look at some stats real quick. Bill, want to take us through batters?
Sure. RC or Arias at 390. Acuna and Freeman right there. Hayes, Bichette. Here's the thing. The batting leader is batting almost 60 points higher than the next guy closest to him, which is insane.
Yeah.
When you look at RBI totals, this tells a story. Matt Olson is having a great season, but Shohei Ohtani is on another planet. He's just on another planet. Garcia, Devers, Josh Naylor, which is not a name that you hear a lot from, but leaderboards moved a little bit. So, but
Yeah.
Shohei's on another planet.
And then, yeah, no, looking at these pitchers, Shane McCallahan. It's shocking that Shane hasn't had a win in the last couple of games. So Shane has been holding that 11 win for the last 2 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see what happens as we move towards the break. But Kershaw, Gallen, both with 10 wins. There's like 12 people, I think, right now with like 9 wins on the pitching leaderboard. As we move over to the strikeout leaders, Spencer Strider
Dash.
is on another level when it goes to pitching. It's just on another freaking level. And I got something really interesting. MLB posted this on their Instagram. Shohei Ohtani is currently on pace for 56 home runs, 128 RBIs, a 12.2 WAR, and 254 strikeouts. Like, those numbers for Shohei are just insane.
No, they're video game numbers, Sam. They're video game numbers. Like, that's what you expect when you're playing the MLB The Show.
Yeah, 100%. No question. No question. So let's go into some fun stats right now. In the last 2 weeks, we've gone up 160 stolen bases. Ruiz for Oakland is the only shining star helping them out right now with 41 stolen bases, first to 40. Anything on the stolen base side that you find interesting?
Again, 3 out of the 5 stolen base leaders are competing for their division and or leading their division.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, Oakland, sorry, Kansas City. But I mean, these numbers, it's proving more and more and more. If you don't run, you're not going to win.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I think, we talked really early in the season about how it was going to transition eventually and that things were going to balance out. And at this point, I don't know if things will. I think we're going to see a much heavier offensive season than we've probably seen in the last 30 years.
Believe. Love it.
Let's talk about homers. Let's talk about home runs. Let's just take this into account right now. Shohei Ohtani is the first to 30 home runs. We've gone up 439 home runs in 2 weeks. Bill, what are we on pace for?
Over 5,000. We're darn near close to 6,000 home runs in a season.
Yeah. I mean, do you think we could hit 6,000?
Depends on how tired guys are at the end of the season. But yeah. I mean, we talked about pitchers and we talked about Shane McClanahan and Clayton Kershaw and guys like that have 8, 9, 10, 11 wins. Pitching's, still leading the force with these home runs. These are insane. And like I said, Matt Olson's having a career year right now. Pete Alonso has dropped off just a bit. Luis Roberts, that doesn't surprise me. Luis Roberts, Shohei forget about it. Shohei's going to get that $400 million contract. So
Yeah. Oh, there's no question. Wait, how many million?
400.
That's possibly the low end of that stick. That would be like the bare minimum that he would probably take. At this point, I think Shohei is looking towards a $650 million contract.
Possibility.
I just don't think with his numbers he could just. I don't think there's any team that could justify paying him less than 600. Honestly, that's just my opinion.
Could be.
Very hard.
Could be.
We got a lot of people. We got a lot of pitchers out for the season, unfortunately, based off of the last 2 weeks. It's sad to see that pitchers are still not getting the love that they deserve off of this pitch clock, and MLB really isn't doing much to protect them. But I don't even know what to say about this slide because it's just heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking, but when you look at it, it's July, August, September. It's 3 months really, and some of these teams like the Royals, like well, actually Detroit and probably like the Giants aren't going to be in the playoffs. I had to throw that in there, Sammy.
I know you had to throw it in there, but it was hard for you to throw it in there because it's probably not true.
So but it's 3 months. These guys that are out, it's worse when you see this injury report out for the season in April and May. When it's July, okay. Right.
Yeah.
So get healthy, get back.
It's still hard to see. It's still hard, like from a baseball's perspective to see. Like
get healthy and get back. That's all I said.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the season, MLB is going to take a hard look at this, and they're going to have to say, okay, we did a lot for offense this year, but we lost a lot of pitchers the entire season, and we need to do something that's not just going to protect. That's not going to just keep fans engaged, but going to protect the players at the same time.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But let's get on to some fun topics.
Yeah, I can't wait for these topics.
There was something incredible that happened. I think it was 2 nights ago now?
Yep.
Bill?
2 nights ago. Yeah.
2 nights ago, a team from New York flew all the way out to California. And a rookie pitcher, not just any pitcher, a rookie pitcher, went and did something incredible. He put 27 players up and he put 27 players down on their butts and made them sit back on the bench. We're talking about perfection today in this. We're talking about perfect games. There have been 24 perfect games in over 130 plus years of baseball, which is astonishing feat. Astonishing feat. We wanted to highlight the last 5 World Series perfect games. So you, the top fans, can realize just how hard it is to pitch a perfect game. Bill?
So first of all, 2 things. One, Sam is a Giants fan, and so math is in his big suit, especially in October. Germán is his 6th year with the Yankees. He's not a rookie.
I don't hear him that often, so I never knew about
him. Exactly. And then second, I have to tell you, I walked into the room on Thursday morning after it happened on Wednesday night, and I said to my wife, I'm like, did you hear about the perfection game? I said to Amber, and she goes, yeah, but it was against the A's. Everybody's beating the A's. And I'm like, no. It's only happened 24 times in Major League Baseball. No, but it was against the A's. It doesn't matter. Okay. So just to get that on record.
Well, let's just explain real quick for people that don't understand what a perfect game is and just how hard it is. So a perfect game means there's no walks, there's no errors, no one touches a base, the pitcher pitches to 27 batters, and all 27 batters sit. It is something that is extremely difficult. It means everyone in the field needs to be on point. It needs to be perfect. And there have been perfect games that have been lost on the final out that have been heartbreakers.
One in
Heart.
Detroit.
Oh my God. I was just thinking about the one in Detroit and how that umpire he should have retired after rewatching that game.
Jim Joyce is a good umpire, and he took it on the chin, and he recognized the fact that he messed it up. And
Yeah.
that kid knows, even though it's not in the record books, that kid knows he threw a perfect game.
He may know it, but if it ain't in black and white, it never happened, unfortunately.
He
It's
can
the
tell his
unfortunate
grandkids
part of
about it.
baseball. Yes, he can tell his grandkids and he can say, look, watch this entire game. And then they're gonna say, unfortunately, you didn't get that last out before
You
the
know,
player hit this.
a no hitter is one thing. A perfect game is something. No hitters are very special, but a perfect game is even more special, just because everything has to go right. Everything has to go right, and it it takes more than just the pitcher. It takes the seven guys behind him. It takes the catcher. I mean, it's
Yep.
everything. So, I mean, on the defensive side, you've got to be perfect. And
Yeah.
yeah,
On the
so
offensive side, you just gotta put up one run. But looking at his last five perfect games, Felix Hernandez, King Felix was the last one before Domingo German. And then before him, only 2 months earlier, Matt Cain pitched the first perfect game in Giants history. Um, Before that, 2 months before that, Philip Hoover, and then it took 2 years before another perfect game had been pitched, or 2 years previously was the last time a perfect game had been pitched, and that was by the great Roy Halladay for the Phillies. Which, I mean, you can't just look at that picture and not love that guy because Roy Halladay is a legend.
he's a stud.
Um,
Yeah.
and there was, I believe, to give the Dodgers some credit, there was a perfect game pitched by a Dodger player in history.
Yep. Sandy Koufax, 1965.
And who was that against, if you don't mind me asking?
Montreal. No. Who was it against? I don't remember.
I have no idea. I figured you wouldn't
No,
know.
I looked this up the other day, but I don't remember who it was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Shoot. All
Well,
right. Thanks for making me.
with,
It's been here. It's been great being on the show this morning. We're out of here. No.
well, as much as we love perfection, there have been a lot of shockers this season. A ton of
Yes.
shockers this season. So we're talking about what's been expected and what's actually happened. So we decided to look at every division, and we took one team from each division, and we decided to say, where were they supposed to be at the start of the season? Where are they currently? And these are the biggest shockers in all of baseball currently today.
Mhm.
So, Bill, out of all of these shockers, what are the biggest ones to you?
Probably in my personal opinion, probably the Mets and the Padres. The Cardinals, I felt, got worse with some retirees, and they didn't do a lot of things, and they were kind of holding on the Cardinal thing. The Rays, they figured out. The White Sox, I thought they would do a lot better than they were doing. That didn't, but that's not totally shocking. Seattle, they had a little bit of a Cinderella season last season, but the Mets and the Padres, the Mets were supposed to be like just incredibly insane. They picked up Kate Upton. They had Max Scherzer. Um, they've got Pete. I can't find a jersey that fits me, Alonso, correctly. Like, they got players, and then you have Murders Row 2023 with the Padres, and it didn't happen. So, which one of these shocked you?
I definitely would say the Padres is one of, if not the biggest shock of the 2023 baseball season currently. The fact that you have four of the premier hitters in all of baseball currently on your roster. You have one of the best starting rotations in baseball. You have what is considered a stacked bullpen, and to be 11 games out of first and under 500 by 8.
Yeah.
It's putting a lot of spotlight on them, especially with the free agents that are coming up in the next calendar season, to say, look at what we've done. Because they were expected to go in and say, look at what we've put around. Look at the team that we've built. We're just going to be superstars. More players are going to want to come here. And now players are looking at this like, well, look at what they've done and the players they've gotten. And look at the record that they have. Like, what is going on? To me, it causes me to think that there's something behind the scenes that's happening. Almost like a Phillies situation last year.
Yep.
Where, they had a losing record towards the beginning of the season. They got rid of Joe Girardi, and all of a sudden they turned it around and skyrocketed to the moon, making it all the way to the postseason. Now, the difference between the Padres and the Phillies from last year is that the Phillies were smart enough to get rid of Girardi 2 months into the season.
Yep.
Now, the Padres are 4 months into the season with 2.5 months left to play. What do? You can't really drop your manager at this point. You can't. Where are you like? You drop your manager, you just become a joke.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think the Padres might be one of the biggest shockers to me. And in all honesty, I think the Mariners also, to me, might be a huge shocker. The Mets had a lot of good players that they brought up, and I understand the Cardinals the Cardinals did lose a lot of guys. They lost Pujols, they lost Yadi Molina, who is their captain, and they thought Contreras would be able to fill that role, which it's kind of like they brought in Contreras to fill Molina's role, like they brought in Joey Bart to fill Buster's role. You can't fill those shoes. Those are shoes that are unable to be filled. You know what I mean? And I think Contreras for the Cardinals is putting too much pressure on himself to say, I need to be more like Yadi so I can be that guy. Just like I think Joey Bart for the Giants was doing the same thing. He was saying, oh, I got to fill Buster's shoes. I got to be that player. I got to be that player. And you don't. You got to be you. And by being you, you're successful. But what makes it shocking for me about the Mariners is that the Mariners, while they had the Cinderella story last year, they didn't really lose anyone. If anything, they gained a top-ranked pitcher this offseason.
Yep.
So I was really hoping to see them at least by this point, a game or two above 500. Well, so to me, that's where they're disappointing. But I'm also excited for the Rays. Rays are shocking.
They are shocking. And you and I mentioned this before we started recording. I was on in the leagues this last week, on Thursday with a guy named Christopher Peluso. Great guy, artist, done work for the Padres, and huge Padre fan. And I said, assuming 93 wins are what you need to get that division, assuming 93 wins are what you need to get that division. And he said, yeah. And I said, then you have to go 56-26. Is it possible? And he said, nope, our season's done. Said, oh, okay. So there it is.
Do you think that is a standard across all Padres fans right now?
No. Because Padre fans don't want to give up. They have this no give up mentality. So I don't think they're going to give up just yet. So
last question on the Padres: does Soto stay?
You're asking the wrong question. It's not does Soto stay because he's still got one more year as a Padre. The question is does Fernando Tatis stay? And there's a team that is interested in him in the Bronx. And so does that happen? I don't know.
Yeah, but but the thing is, then he'd have to shave his beard and cut his hair, and he's not going to do that. Anyway,
Yep.
we could go into that. Bill, with the holiday week, I know it's a little late, but take us, you got a couple of things coming up next week on your schedule.
Yep. So we're gonna try to do a father and sons episode with 3 different father and sons that are all playing college baseball. We're working on that and getting that ready. Hopefully to drop on the 4th of July. On Wednesday, we have our by the numbers. And so I'm very excited about both of those. Those are gonna be great podcasts. And then Thursdays and Fridays episode, there will be more episodes. Now in the leagues, Tony is a Reds fan, and there's a lot to talk about in the Reds organization, and that's Monday. And then Wednesday, Sarah, who's a Yankees fan, will be on as well. Tuesday it'll be a short in the leagues. Thursday and Friday we're still confirming guests for, but it's gonna be a jam-packed stuff. And just wait, we've got stuff going on all week. So Sam, what do we have this week?
What do we have this week? Well, this coming Friday, we've got another watch party. It's going to be at the Bruheim in Anaheim, California. It is going to be the Dodgers taking on the Los Angeles Angels. It is starting at 7 p.m. You are not going to want to miss out. Make sure you get to topfanrivalry.com and make sure you get registered. Topfanrivalry.com. Click on the watch party at the top of the page. Scroll down. Find Dodgers, Angels, and make sure you register. You're not going to want to miss it. It is always a good time at Bruheim. Bill will be there. Angels fans, Dodgers fans, they're all going to be there. They're all going to be in effect, and it's all going to be a good time. So you are not going to want to miss it. There is also another watch party that's coming in August, and that's going to be a Yankees-Red Sox watch party. We are going to start showing you guys that one next week. You are not going to want to miss it. If you are an East Coast guy in the Boston area and you are either a Yankees fan or a Red Sox fan, you want to make sure you are there. As always, make sure you keep a lookout on topfanrivalry.com for brand new articles, brand new podcasts, all the new merch that's coming out. Bill has got a ton of stuff coming. He's got a lot of stuff down the pipe. So you definitely don't want to miss it. And keep an eye on that watch party page because you never know when a watch party is going to show up. It might show up. It might show up today. It might show up tomorrow. It might show up in 3 weeks from now. But it is coming, and we are trying to expand to all 30 teams so we can see where everyone plays. So keep a lookout. And the other thing to make sure you do, if you want to collab with TopFanRivalry.com, make sure you get to TopFanRivalry.com, click on the collab page, and let Bill know how you want to be involved in the Top Fan Rivalry community. You can send pictures. You could want to host a watch party. You could want to do a podcast. You could want to do an IG Live. Bill is open to it. Make sure you get there. Make sure you register and let us know that you want to be involved. Bill, anything else for this holiday weekend you want to bring to the fans?
I'm Bill, and I approve this message. No, that was great, Sam. You took care of it all. No, everybody have a safe and very healthy 4th of July. Enjoy baseball, enjoy your family, enjoy barbecue, whatever you do for 4th of July, enjoy it. We just love being around you, and we love doing this, and I hope that you enjoy this episode. So Sam,
yes,
to next Saturday
as always, make sure you enjoy some good beer, baseball, and fun this weekend. Get some good fireworks in, spend some time with your family and friends, and we will see you on the field next week.
Sounds good.